He appealed to the surfers because he looked like one. He appealed to the tough guys because he was one. He appealed to the intellectuals because he was one.
People should know about a man like this because you don't find people like this anymore today.
There are two San Joses, the downtown metropolis and the outdoor paradise south of the city where Pat Tillman grew up.
People's perception is Silicon Valley, the downtown, the booming.com, and then you get out a little south and you go into Almaden. Go to the reservoir and start doing some rope swinging and climbing trees and all those types of deals.
It really is a spectacular place. There's hiking trails all throughout it.
I think a lot of those kinds of outdoor adventure activities, you know, really helped Pat especially develop into kind of the adventurous person that he became.
Pat was the oldest of three brothers. Growing up with Kevin and Richard, their house was the neighborhood hotspot.
Mom, Mrs. Tillman, is a teacher, and Mr. Tillman's a lawyer in San Jose, so they're both well-educated individuals. And maybe he learned from an early age to be such a thinker because they were so well-rounded.
9 out of 10 times, if I drive up the little hill to the driveway, people are outside in the front on lawn chairs having a conversation, you know, talking about the latest book or, you know, the social issues.
In their house, they had, you know, not even a TV for a while. So, you know, they were really encouraged, maybe even by default, to be outdoors and developing in that way.
Pat excelled at several sports, but when he failed to make the varsity baseball team as a high school freshman, he vowed to devote himself to football.
I went and talked with him and said, you know, Pat, you're not built like a football player. And he said, no, I'm going to go into the weight room and I'm going to get strong and I'm going to be a football player and I'm going to play college football. And I said, well, I think, Pat, that's a mistake, and we all know that I was wrong on that count.
The worst thing you could possibly do if you didn't want Pat to do something is tell him that he couldn't do it.
Pat became a star of the team at 6 positions.
Used him at running back, linebacker, strong safety, punt returner, punter, kick returner. Pat was on the field all the time.
It was a never-give-up type attitude during the games. It was basically his leadership. He really led the way.
If you, keep a high intensity level, usually people will follow and do the same. Makes the team a lot more effective.
He was confident on the field, but when they came up and they interviewed him, there was still a quietness about Pat. There was still a humility.
You're always so modest when I talk to you. This time, take some credit for yourself. You're not gonna do it, are you?
He knew how to go one speed, and that was just the way he played.
Tackling is you get the guy on the ground. Pat wanted to knock him to the ground.
All the way, and he is going to get much.
He was so intense, and you could just see it on every single play.
Rolling to his left, this is run.
Tillman brought the same intensity into the classroom with similar results.
He didn't care if he made All-American or All-Pac-10 or the Defensive Player of the Year. He wanted to be first-team academic All-American.
He's an A, because he earned an A. He did the work. Has his materials, he's set up, he's got the little desk that comes up. I'm ready to go. Let's get it on.
Pat Tillman on the play.
Pat Tillman was heading into his 4th season with the Arizona Cardinals in September of 2001, when everything changed.
September 11th affected everybody in their own way, but Pat took it differently. I saw him the next day, and there was something in his eyes. You could just see how affected and how angry he was by the situation.
after 9/11, the Arizona Republic had run on their back page the American flag. Pat had cut that out and had put it on the meeting room window of the defensive room. And it stayed there for a long, long time.
I don't know what type of offers are going to be presented to me. You know, who the hell knows? So I really don't want to say. I would like to be here, but, you know, you never know.
All of a sudden on the phone, he goes, "Hey, Frank, why don't you worry about your other clients? I'm thinking about doing something different with my life."
Pat wanted his decision to stand for itself. He didn't need to explain it. I think it explained itself. So what is there really to say?
Pat Tillman never gave another interview. In May of 2002, he and Kevin enlisted together in the Army Rangers, special forces that trained for high-risk missions.
Special forces generally were at the forefront of the war in Afghanistan in 2001, 2002, and beyond.
When they signed up, hey, this is it, this is hard, this is one of the top-notch units over there, let's go for it.
In April of 2004, Pat and Kevin Tillman were deployed to Afghanistan, patrolling rugged territory along the eastern border.
Embedded in the countryside were pockets of Taliban fighters. The mission of Pat's platoon was to carry out essentially a sweep operation in an area of eastern Afghanistan where the Taliban had been especially active.
According to a U.S. military spokesman, Tillman died after a firefight with anti-coalition militia forces in Afghanistan.
Pat fought honorably and bravely until the last moments of his life. He did everything he was asked to do. He seems to have volunteered to go beyond what his unit was deployed to do. And he certainly never wavered under fire.
His status as a celebrity didn't alter Pat's singular style.
He didn't change. He still rode his bicycle, wore jeans, flip-flops, Jeep. What's the deal?